No one's really sure what it is that causes it, but for some reason, in a franchise, there will always be games that stick out more in your head, but it's not necessarily because it's a better game. It could be the memories, the fun times with other people, but there's always going to be high points and low points in any franchise. Now, when you get into gaming, or more specifically licensed gaming with James Bond, well, let's say that was the definition of lightning in the bottle. How many people can honestly say they even remember playing a James Bond game that wasn't GoldenEye, or one that took over the entertainment social zeitgeist like GoldenEye did from that franchise? Literally nobody. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't admit to doing hyperbolic statements every now and again, but I like to think of myself as one of those few people who actually remember what the word literally means. So when I say after weeks, I think at this point, of looking into different James Bond games, I can say comfortably, nothing felt nearly as good as GoldenEye. GoldenEye is one of the few examples of what feels like a perfect video game. However, when I see 007 First Light, I kind of feel some kind of way. Generally speaking, IO Interactive is one of those rare instances of having an extremely high pedigree in relation to stealth or selective action based multiple choice gaming. Now, the genre theoretically is called stealth gaming or espionage gaming. It's a subsection or subgenre, if you will. And there are so very few titles and franchises left that are in active development that even deal with this that aren't indie titles. It's basically just Hitman and the Metal Gear Solid franchise, which, depending on who you ask, is in and out of dormancy habitually. Siphon Filter's long gone. I don't even think anybody under 30 remembers the word siphon filter. And Sam Fisher, despite his quality, gets the short end of the stick just based off of the company that he comes from. So believe me when I tell you, it's more than a little bit rare to see something at this scale and this quality that isn't attached to the aforementioned named other spy espionage type genres titles, unless it's Assassin's Creed. But to be honest, Assassin's Creed is, well, that's a video for another day. Now, what made Metal Gear Solid 5 so unique and special, not to deviate too much, but to just provide examples, you had multiple choice options when it came to how you dealt with most stages. You could go in guns blazing from the get-go. You could call in airstrikes, your score and rank would be lowered, or you could sneak around, maybe find out some secret things and destroy some equipment. And you could even do passive things when you're not playing the game, like lessening what armor and items that the enemy has available, making certain play types easier to deal with or pull off. And then you had, your little assistants, not necessarily gadgets, but actual like companions, and in one case a legitimate machine to help you go around and make some of this stuff easier for you. So here comes James Bond, who has that in tow, although his assistants are more like ways for him to have conversations and kill off the dead silence that Metal Gear was known for. I don't foresee them directly interfering with your stages, but again, the game's not out yet, I don't know. Then you have Hitman. You create distractions, kill people getting in your way, or maybe knock them unconscious, steal their disguises, dresses them, look like them. The game plays along with this funny little comical situation because, Hitman don't look like anybody, but the minute he goes to someplace where there's dark-skinned people, he blends in just because he got somebody's clothing. It's played up for chuckles and laugh. And depending on the game, sometimes the AI is hit or miss, and the scanning and detection system has always become more interesting. And the stages and the environments are very elaborate. The way I see it, those two sit at the top of a mountain that only they can sit at. And here comes, another secret agent. And I genuinely think with everything that we've seen, not only can he stand on that same tier with them, but the unique options that they're creating and utilizing are going to make him stand out. With Hitman, you will get some occasional talking option. You get none with Metal Gear Solid. However, you also need skill and training, and you need to build up the experience. Because if you notice in the bottom of the footage, they always say you need a certain amount of skill, a certain amount of strength, charisma, etc., whatever they're going to call it, to be able to access certain things. However, on top of having the guns blazing option, you also have the organized chaos that can only be caused with gadgets as well. And that's where I think this is really going to stand out and be able to make sure that they can stand on their own 2 feet. This is one of those rare times where we have a blend of a good, recognizable franchise that is very game adaptable. If I had to give it a score, it would be 100% game adaptable. We have the team that we know can do it because they have a proven track record and decades of experience at this point, collectively. And then we also have genuine creativity and artistry. Now that one sounds a little bit nebulous, so just to go into it a little bit, what I mean by that is we have people who know what the standard tropes and functions are that are expected or cliche within this genre, this very, very niche genre, if not subgenre. So they automatically know where they can deviate, improve, or enhance it because, hell, they engineered some of them. Now, looking back on the history of Bond games, one of the main things they tried to do isn't necessarily capture the magic of GoldenEye, but what they've tried to do is be good games and good representations of the Bond franchise. So far, it's more common to find an okay to good Bond game than it is a legitimate shit game. And I like that. I honestly do. Also, you almost have to expect that there were limitations for the time. If memory serves, this is the first time Bond has been on Unreal Engine 5. And on top of being on Unreal Engine 5, this is the first time Bond has had stages that are on the size level and equivalent and quality level of a Hitman stage. On top of it, he has a technological access that Hitman does not and has never had. You know, finding a key card or getting past a security ID, yeah, those are staples. Those are classics, like I said. But being able to completely reroute and control manually a fucking plane steering system? Holy shit, Bond. And this is only just a small snippet. I would love to figure out if he's going to have a levelable skill system on top of a gadget system. We can already go through the same stages and basically have 2 different playstyles. Fuck it, YOLO, aka guns blazing, a license to kill, if you will. And then we're going to have the Metal Gear orientated Hitman type player who they're going to emphasize that stealth or spy and espionage scenario situation. But the game also has moments where you don't have a choice. Now that's what I like, because you have to be prepared like an agent should for every situation. Now with Metal Gear, you could change your loadout and literally have it airdrop to you. Hitman, your loadout is whatever you started with, and then you can acquire shit also through the stage. Sam Fisher, on the other hand, well, I haven't played any of those games. I'm not going to pretend I have. I've watched a lot of gameplay footage. His biggest weapon is stealth and gun to your head blackmailing. Kudos, Mr. Fisher. Kudos. But I think this new Bond is going to do well because they're not overemphasizing one or the other. Because a good James Bond game, in my opinion, needs to have that perfect mix of both. So honestly, I'm looking forward to this new Bond game. This won't be the first or the last video. Well, it is the first. Why did I say that? This won't be the last video that I do on 007 First Light. I'm looking forward to seeing how this game goes. And I think I might actually review it too when it drops. So yeah, I don't really have a name for videos like this, but it's going to be in 2 centile regardless. But for those watching, I think you should treat this more like a, this is something I think you should be watching or looking into type of video, instead of my normal philosophical waxing. That being said, thank you IO Interactive for respecting the property. I look forward to your product, and I'll see you guys next time I'm in a 2 centile. Peace.